to another episode of the Doomloop Dispatch, the new show that covers the worst parts of the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm Kevin L. Jones, and with me whenever possible is...
D Scot Miller.
That's right. And we're doing another headliner episode. I've been sick, and I'm finally able to talk, though if you see me throw in a throat lozenge, hopefully that's not a problem. We have so much going on. It's all kind of city based.
Yeah, it's all San Francisco.
Yeah, there's just so much going on in the city. But first off, how you feeling after this election?
I'm optimistic, but also unsurprised. Like these guys just are dropping the ball on everything. Even the draconian bullshit that they're doing, they're dropping the ball on that too. I mean, they're really bad fascists, thank God. You know what I mean? I mean, really incompetent fascists, but still fascists. And so I'll oscillate too, though, because I just heard about U.S. aid over in Africa. They killed about 400,000 people through starvation by not giving U.S. aid.
Christ.
Yeah, like that was Elon and Doge, and when they cut U.S. aid, I mean, like as far as they can document right now, there's 400,000 people who have died of starvation, and 10,000 of those people were kids.
Jesus Christ!
No, I'm sorry, 400,000, and 100,000 of those people were children.
Jesus,
yeah,
Christ.
just got that this morning. So I mean, it's just kind of like it's easy to like kind of like almost make fun of ICE or whatever the fuck, but these guys are just some evil shits, man. They're starving people and stuff. So, so yesterday, I'm more, I guess invigorated is probably the best way I feel. I mean, I have not been able to really sleep. Like I wake up in the morning with this existential dread because you know what I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is going to start reading the news.
Yeah.
And I'm just, oh, Jesus Christ, I got to get up and I got to read this goddamn news, So on Wednesday morning, I actually slept in more than I've slept in like a long time, 10 months probably. I slept in. I was like, oh, wow, I don't have to get up and watch the goddamn news because I know what the news is already. It's just going to be nothing but blue. Okay, I can wait that out.
That's great. Yeah, it does feel. I do feel like a little better because especially it's totally clear everyone seeing through this crap. Especially Latinos. We gotta credit the Latinos for especially what was it Trump. They saw a 30% increase voting for Trump, and that's all gone.
Yeah,
they basically, they've undid that, and and it's. Yeah, it's just good to see that, that people aren't supporting this austerity. People are all seeing through it. They're ready to punish the right. And you can tell that the right is very worried. That's why they're trying to adopt the messaging of Zoran Madami talking about affordability. That's like everyone on the right is going like, we should probably talk about affordability.
Wait, no, but here's the thing that kills me about that. You ran on affordability. You ran on it. You were talking about bringing down eggs day one, bringing down food day one, bringing down rent day one. Your whole platform was affordability. That was your whole platform. What do you mean we're going to start talking about it? You guys have been talking about it. You've just been full of shit about it.
Yep.
But no, you've always talked affordability. Like that was one of your platforms, mass deportation and day one discounts. That's what you're going to do.
Yep. And it's funny too, because did you see Trump respond to that question about affordability and everything? He's like, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about affordability.
He changed his mind. Yeah. He changed his mind this morning. And then like, of course, we got the things going on with SNAP. And he did the same thing with that. I personally don't think he has the money. Mm-hmm. I think he spent the shit. I think they reallocated it with expectation. And that they were going to be able to do it, but the government shutdown kind of fucked up another plan they must have had, because it definitely looks like he looted SNAP. It looks like that, and so the court actually said to him today, find the money, not get the money, but find it. So there's something going on internally where they already know that he's lost the money, he spent that shit, and people are starving. People are going to go hungry because he spent that money probably on his ballroom, probably on that Great Gatsby ball that he had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He literally took the food out of baby's mouth and fed it to the rich. That's what I think happened.
Yeah.
I sincerely do.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I honestly, it is not surprising too, because that's how these people think. They do not care about the needy. They care about themselves, and that's it,
Yeah.
Now, Here's the question, though. How do you feel about Prop 50? Do you think it's going to make a difference?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I think that what it's one thing, it showed the proper way to do gerrymandering, which is a lot of people to vote for it. Right. So, I mean, that's something that's missing from Texas. Texas just did it. They did it in the dead of night. They redrew their maps and all of that. But it definitely does answer Texas's redistricting. So we still have red states that are trying to do the same thing. And we have blue states who are now going to be brave enough to try to do it the proper way, which is through voting.
Yep.
Right. So, I mean, I think, people are going to have special elections in blue states because it worked here, so we're going to be able, and man, we devastated the Reds. Oh my God. So that on a local level, on a California level, that's going to be good for us in the future. Right. It's just going to be good. But I think it's also going to inspire a bunch of blue states to do the same, which can really, we can actually do something about the Electoral College if we have enough people sign on for that. We have enough blue states say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to gerrymander our maps to make it so, because we're getting our asses kicked by the fucking Electoral College for the past 50 years. So we can't undo it because nobody wants to abolish it because it helps Reds win. But maybe this redistricting thing can actually come in our favor and we can overcome the Electoral College. So, I mean, I'm encouraged by that. I'm encouraged. And also I love California for just standing up. We stood up, and so that's, I feel really good about Prop 50. How about you?
Yeah, me too. My only worry is the Supreme Court. I mean, the Supreme Court could really undo the Voting Rights Act, and you're going to see all that progress just go away. And they are aiming at it, and it's disgusting, especially it's under the guise, or at least their assertion, that racism is over because of Barack Obama.
I think that my parents used to tell me stories all the time because of that, they were in the segregated South. And so voting at the time was this thing where they actually put they put a giant jar of jelly beans in front of you and tell you to ask you to guess how many jelly beans are in the jar. You know what I mean? Or they would say you need to take a literacy test.
Yep.
Things like that. And which is what the Voting Rights Act was actually stopping, right? Yep. But I'm talking only from my generation of, you can call me a post-civil rights child, you know what I mean? I go to my polling place, you try that shit, I wish a motherfucker would. No, I mean, really, you can actually, there were these systems in place, but they also demanded an entire social structure that upheld those things. Right. There was a time when a black man couldn't walk down the street in front of a white man. There was a time when a white man could actually say to a black man, "Why you eyeballing me, boy?" These days, I wish a motherfucker would. So that whole system, when they say that racism is over, that's not really what they're trying to say, right? They're trying to say that if the law wasn't there, we could go back to that time. Yep. And the answer is you can't. The answer is the social structure just isn't there. You'd have to go back in time and get that police force. You'd have to go back in time and get those National Guards, right? Because I wish a motherfucker would. It's really something that actually is from my generation. I'm not worried about you taking away the Voting Rights Act. I'm not worried about you talking about civil rights discrimination and me not being able to go to court and sue my boss or somebody who's not hiring me because of my skin color. I wish a motherfucker would. The law, this is the thing people seem to understand. The law is not protecting white people from black people. It was supposed to be protecting black people from white people.
Yep.
Right. That's what it was supposed to do. But now I wish the motherfucker would try to do some shit like that. People like Trump gonna bring back slavery and gonna come and round up all the black people. I wish a motherfucker would. I just it's that era is just over. So I mean, I'm not really concerned about the Voting Rights Act being rescinded. Right.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But no, I'm not really concerned because you try to start some shit over in Alabama right now at a black voting place. You try that. You try to go to a black polling place with your MAGA hats and try to stop those people from going in and voting. I wish a motherfucker would, because we got them too. You know what I mean? So you come over there with those things, we're going to come over there with those things too. Right? And the police are not going to be over there and just opening fire or use the fire hoses on people and shit like that. That shit's done.
Yeah,
it's just done. So you would have to bring all of that entire old social structure back. You'd have to bring it all back. And it wasn't just laws, right? It was also the ability to break the law.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
And it was a culture too.
Yeah, it was a culture. And the thing is, they're trying to bring that culture back. But the truth of the matter is time goes forward, not backwards. You can't make people from my generation, right, respond to a Jim Crow situation. You just can't do it. You cannot put us back in that subjugated role.
Yeah.
Because we don't fit. We just don't fit. And the thing is, you got the first black president. Well, game's over. I mean, whether you guys like it or not, that game is over. This whole thing that like black inferiority, that's over. You know what I mean? So basically, you're stuck. You're stuck because like there's like even if you tried to enforce that, if you got rid of the Voting Rights Act and you tried to bring out a jar of jelly beans, like you're just not going to get it, right? You'll get pulled out of that polling place before you fucking get somebody, to count some jelly beans. You'll get pulled out physically. Like, no, we're voting. No, we'll deal with the legal ramifications of that later, but we will be voting. Yeah, so I mean, that's just so that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. I mean, it's still for me very disappointing. I mean, especially when you think about the legacy of the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, especially like think about people died for it. Yeah. There's a whole movie about it called Mississippi Burning, and I mean, it's seriously like people coming down just to help people vote, and they were killed for it. And we don't even know what their last moments were like, but they're probably scary and awful.
But yeah, you talk about Cheney and those other guys. Yeah, but now but once again though, I think that what people have a tendency of not remembering is that over this past handful of actually it's only been 60 years. But like, I grew up my entire life, like, in a different kind of mindset, with a different kind of culture, with a different kind of self-awareness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so like that was essential in the 60s. It was. And I think it's still essential now because I do think racial discrimination hasn't really changed all that much. Right. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the thing is, the struggle is just born anew. The struggle is born anew, but we're definitely at a different place and in a different time. And you're dealing with a different sort of people. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to be able to say, "What you eyeballing me, boy?" You're not going to be able to do that anymore. It's just not coming back. And that's what you want, right? Ultimately, that's what you want. That's not coming back, right? Yeah. It's like it's just gone. So. I mean, do your worst. I mean, do what you think you got to do, but ain't the goddamn Klan is not going to be coming into Oakland, and we're not going to let you fuck up Memphis or anything like that. We're just not going to let you do it. You know. So I mean, it's just a different world that you're going to have to respond to it.
Yeah, especially too with this media environment, you could see people, getting ready, preparing, organizing as soon as that stuff comes down. And like seriously, you're going to see. They're not going to like the response, and that's the best way to put it. They're going to think they can just get away with it, and no, the response is not going to be that easy at all.
But the thing is, though, is that I've been going around and talking to people about this thing of needing Black attention in order to push forth a white supremacist agenda. You can't push forth a white supremacist agenda without Black people. You just can't do it. So basically, what Trump is having problems with right now when it comes to Stephen Miller is going into these Black communities, and the Black communities are not responding with violence. That violence is something he had anticipated from Black people because he's a white supremacist.
Yep.
Right. So like the thing is like everything you guys think you're taking away from us are things that we actually have instilled inside ourselves. Right. We don't run from cops. We don't run from the National Guard. Not all of us are criminals. We don't have records. There was actually a guy walked up to a Black man in Memphis, ICE agent, and asked him if he was Dominican. and the thing that drives me crazy about that very argument is like, I think you saw my Twitter on this, but like I knew my great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother.
Oh, wow.
My great-great-grandmother died when she was 104.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Or something like that. I knew her when I was like 4. She died when I was like 4 or 5 years old. But she in her house, she had a picture of her mother. Right? Mm-hmm. So I was cognizant of my great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother, and my great-great-great-grandmother. And they all are from America. They're all birthright citizens. How many can Stephen Miller say that? No, he can't. Stephen Miller cannot say that. Can Donald Trump say that? No, he can't.
No, he can't.
There's a lot of people who can't say that. So how are you going to question the one thing that Black Americans actually have are really deep roots in the country itself? Grandmothers, great-greats, great-great-great-great-greats, great-great-great-great-greats. I mean, we have that, you know?
Yeah.
And so to me, I think that that's what you're trying to take away, and it's something you can't because it's just there. It's just there. Our citizenship is just there. Our rights are just there. And I remember, like, you know, talking to then I'll stop talking, but on the Black radical side of things, they always said, like, you know, I'm talking about Kwame Ture and people like that and Asada and them. They're like, if they can give you a right and then be able to take it away from you, it's just a privilege. It's something they're just like, you know, so like the Voting Rights Act, right? Well, if you can give it to us and we can take it away, it was never ours to begin with, right? But you know what it is? Our vote, right? Like that's really, like, you know, you can't take away our vote, even though they're trying desperately in Texas. You can't take that away. You could or the Civil Rights Act, right? We're going to force you to be civil to Black people, right? Right. But no, you know what? If you're not civil to me, it's actually a personal thing. We're going to get into it on that, you know, on that basis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be personal. And like, you know, and that's not something that we don't have to have the government demand civility, right? The government is demanding civility. If you can give us that right and then you can take it away, it never belonged to us. And so that's the reason why you're not seeing people in the streets right now, like when these fucking ICE agents show up or whatever, when like all these things that Trump is trying to do to shake the hive, like starve people. Because now stop, because that's the other one, fucking SNAP benefits.
Yep.
For 60 years, America thought that SNAP was for Black people. And I didn't know this. I just learned this over the past couple of weeks. Like there are more white people on SNAP than Black people. But for some reason, like white America has been able to fool everybody into saying they're not on SNAP benefits. And so when Donald Trump and Stephen Miller were like, okay, they're not responding. And one of the things that's going to make them respond is food insecurity. So what we're going to do is we're going to hurt all the Black people and all their SNAP benefits. And Trump even came out and said, we're going to go after Democrat programs. I mean, so he meant SNAP. And so basically he thought that Black people were almost primarily on SNAP, and you do a little bit of denying them food. Then you send in the troops, and then they're going to be angry because they don't have their food. And now they have the troops, and now you get your little thing where you can halt the elections, right?
It's out of control. We need to take over.
Yeah, but like I said a couple of weeks ago, in West Virginia, like 96% of the population's on SNAP. They're going to go off on you. A whole damn state. They're number 2 in receiving the SNAP benefits. The whole damn state is going to be mad at you. And it's going to be a bunch of white people because it actually is 98%. It's like 96% white in West Virginia. So you're depriving the poorest of the poor whites in this country of their SNAP benefits. And you think it's going to happen in the ghetto? You think it's going to happen in a Black community?
No.
Do you think it's going to be West Virginia, man.
And guess who's better armed?
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be West Virginia and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
If they don't get that money out, man. Oh, and especially if it's people who lost their farms and they're using SNAP benefits right now too. Nebraska, Oklahoma, Kansas. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
And that's and there's another point with that too, is that actually, I mean, SNAP isn't for poor people. SNAP is for poor farmers.
Yeah.
It's a USDA subsidy to pay farmers to keep growing crops and basically, help them out. And they're pissed too. I mean, that's their income, and they've been promised this stuff. And Trump appealed to that group. And guess what?
It's so funny because it's not really funny, but it's kind of funny. In Chicago, ICE is beating the shit out of white people. I mean, every time I look, ICE is beat the shit out of another white person. Like, didn't you go to Chicago to beat up on Black people and brown people? Yeah. Every time I look, you're gonna push a lady, you grab somebody else out of the car. They took this one guy and slammed him down on the street and pounded him in the head a couple of times. I'm like, they are beating the shit out of white people. Holy shit! How come white people are getting mad about this?
Oh yeah.
White people should be really mad.
Oh, they're mad. They're mad, but you have to remember those too, who, have the biggest voices won't be mad, but they're definitely mad. Yeah. But it's also too, I mean, that's the thing though too. It's usually like the cops avoid going after white people because the white people got the resources.
Exactly. They're literally racially profiling white people.
Yeah.
They've gone into 3 segregated white suburbs. And I think that's maybe the other thing that people don't understand about Chicago. People, when they think about Chicago, they think about Chicago, downtown Chicago, and the slight surrounding area. But there are 3 suburbs. And the one that is the one I'm surprised they haven't hit yet is Brownsville. And Brownsville is where the black bougies are, right? It would, like, at least you'd be beating up on black people. But no, you're going to the Greenwood or whatever the fuck it's called, and that's predominantly white neighborhood. Like, it's like you literally racially profiled white people.
Well, at least it's, good to see the shoe on the other foot, right?
well, no, because to me, I mean, because white supremacy is the thing that got this motherfucker in office, right? Yep. So if white people are being hurt, shouldn't the white supremacists be upset about it? And they're not, right? Like, aren't you supposed to be preserving the women and children, whatever your little fucking 12 words are, whatever, 18 words, what it must preserve white women and the sanctity of childhood or whatever the fuck. Like, aren't you guys supposed to be doing that? Because you're not doing it right now. I mean, white people are starving. White people are getting their asses kicked by ICE. White people are like, when is your white supremacy thing going to kick in, man? Come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
take on ICE. Take on ICE.
I know. Well, that's the thing about white people. There's even there's like a prejudice even there too. Oh man, I have so many stories. Yeah, I'm like literally like, really, just because like I care about other people, you're gonna talk to me that way. But yeah, that's a whole other thing. Well, we should get into
Let's get into it.
Nancy Pelosi, Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi retiring too, because I mean that's big for our area.
Yeah.
I mean, she's, I don't know. Like I'm kind of iffy on her reputation. I mean, she's not been great. She didn't follow up with things like she claimed to be a feminist, but never follow up with the Equal Rights Act.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of stuff like that, like her response to the George Floyd killing was not great. The whole kneeling and everything else, that was not a good look. But then I also too remember when she first came into office, she was, probably one of the best resistors to Bush. And she did a good job against Trump as well. I'm gonna miss somebody who hates the Republicans that much. I'm afraid that whoever's going to replace her is going to be try to be neutral in some way, push the working with the other side like Chuck Schumer, and also right now the potential candidates Soykot, Chakrabarty, and Scott Wiener are just terrible.
Both bad choices. Both bad. Now I heard there's rumblings that maybe Connie Chan might throw her hat in the ring, and that's something that's really encouraging. I mean, but to me, like I talked about this, the thing is that before the fascists actually moved in, the white nationalist fascists, right? You could claim to be a moderate. You know what I mean? I mean, like the whole landscape changed when that happened. Like, so, like she was a great moderate during the time where you could be.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that's now I'm not a fan of moderates. Just generally speaking, I'm not a fan of moderates. Right. And so trying to play both ends against the middle used to be something that made sense. And so during her time, that made sense. Right. It made sense to go up against Bush. Bush is going to covertly be racist. Right. He's going to do it covertly. Bush is going to covertly try to attack poor people. But at least he's doing it covertly. So you could actually go and be like, OK, well, we're talking about just we're talking about destination. How do we get to the place we're trying to get to? Yeah. Right. But the other side now is like, we don't want to talk about that anymore. Like, we're not going to argue with you anymore. Mm-hmm. Right. Like they've become extremists and they've become authoritarian. So like for her era, she did a good job for her era. But the era has changed, and I think that woman needs to rest.
Yeah, totally. You can tell she's not up for the fight anymore.
No, she's definitely not. But you've done enough, Nancy. Thank you for your service, for the most part, because you're a moderate. You didn't you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just pretty much you just mitigated the fire. The house is still on fire though. Nobody ever figured out how to get water. Nobody ever figured out how to codify things that should have been codified.
Yeah.
Right. So and being so scared of at the time what they considered the center. right? They were scared of people who, well, I still want to be racist. I mean, I'll go with it, but I still want to be racist.
It just feels good to say the hard R.
Yeah, it's just like, I agree with you on most things, but I still want to be racist. Can I still be sexist? So there was a lot of things. That's the thing I don't like about moderates. Is like the answer is no, you can't be.
Yeah,
you can't be sexist anymore. You can't be racist anymore. And if that doesn't jibe with you, then go over to where the bad guys are, which is exactly what's happening right now. Yeah. It doesn't jibe. If that doesn't jibe with you, you go over there. But that's what we should have been saying to them the whole time.
Yep.
Like if that doesn't work with you, go over there with the bad guys. Go hang out with the villains.
Yep. Draw a line in the sand.
Yeah, we don't want you over here then.
Yeah, we're seeing that right now with the Zionist,
Yeah, exactly.
Like seriously, they have to deal with the fact that like they and also too they know that the right side doesn't like them and doesn't want them, but they're still supporting Israel, so they have to balance it all. It's so interesting. Yeah. I don't know how that's going to end up. But now we should kind of get more into local stuff. Because especially something, so Joel Engardio was recalled, right?
Yeah.
And then they have now Mayor Dan Lurie is now he has promoted a new supervisor for D4, and it's Bea Alcaraz, a complete political novice, no political experience. Literally, the only thing she has and can claim is that she was a pet shop owner for 6 years, and in the neighborhood, and that is it. That's all. It is so weird, and it just makes you wonder what is going on. Where is she going with this? Like what is Larry? And clearly it must be, she must have said like, tell me how to vote and I'll do it.
I really appreciate the work that Mission Local put into this piece, because I do think it's a little bit more nuanced than that.
Okay. I'm all ears.
Okay. Because basically what they've been doing is like, you have people who are actually want to be politicians. They want to be like she kind of wants to be a politician, sort of, right?
Yeah.
But basically, she's just somebody in the community who walked up to Lurie and just like, you think maybe you could hand me this job? Lurie did not approach her.
Yeah.
She approached him. And a lot of people in the community are making a really solid argument in her favor by saying her lack of experience is actually an asset. She's not plugged into anything. In fact, her voting record is spotty as hell. She doesn't even vote.
Yes.
Okay. Her voting record is spotty as hell. So she's not really into politics. She's not a political person. Right. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people were saying though, is that every time we get a political person, we get screwed.
Yeah.
We want the pet shop owner who's lived in the community all of her life. We want somebody who's a part of our community. We want somebody who actually gives a shit about what happens at the Great Highway, who doesn't want these gigantic, she actually is already pushing back against his upzoning plan. She doesn't want skyscrapers in her neighborhood. You know what I mean? So, now the thing is just like, to be honest about it, I think maybe that's what Mondami is kind of like too, in a way where like he doesn't really have training in politics, right? Yeah. But the thing is that politics is not really what we need from our politicians. What we need is honesty, sincerity. You know what I mean? And somebody who actually is communicating and communicating with the people and trying to deliver what the people need. That's what a politician is. Yeah. Right. We don't, like Muhammad, we don't need a Bilal. We don't want another Bilal. You know what I mean? Somebody who actually is trying to be a politician. You know what I mean? But real politicians are people who rise up. Like Carol Fife's a great example of that. Of somebody who actually spent her whole life doing activism and then said, okay, well, I need to start making changes internally. Right. But her constituents know her as a person who's always been in the community, represents the community. And then she learned the process over this past decade. Right. She's like she kills the process now. Mm-hmm. Right. Robert's Rules of Order and all that shit. Right. So I think that maybe I'm not necessarily going to say that she's a puppet right away. Yeah, right.
Good point.
Lurie might just be like, well, I really didn't have any answers for this. So you go ahead and you can hold that down until the election. Like let's see how you do. I can see that being another option. And it seems that a lot of people in the community feel the same way.
Yeah, especially too if you think about Lurie himself, he doesn't have any political experience or anything like that. So he's probably like, somebody like me, might as well.
Yeah, let's give it a go. Sure, kid.
Yeah,
Good luck with that. You know, that could be it.
And that's such a great point too about the people that actually want to be politicians. That should be a red flag, especially
Absolutely.
That's how you get people like Eric Swalwell, who on one end plays the part, looks good, but on the other end, you're finding all this shady stuff that he does, and his reputation,
Gavin's the perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Gavin has wanted to be a politician ever since he was a DA, man. He's been wanting to be a politician that whole time. And that's how I felt about London Breed. London Breed wanted to be a politician that whole time. Even when she was running the Arts and Culture Center, she wanted to be a politician. Always look out for those people.
Yeah.
There's a certain kind of narcissism that's frightening in that ambition.
Yes, totally. Because that's a thing too. It's like I could see it if like you have a passion, like if you have a certain topic or just something you want to fight for. But like, yeah, really, especially like Gavin Newsom, he always wanted to be RFK if RFK was still alive. You know?
Exactly. So I mean, like, I think that's maybe the new rise. I mean, like, people need to start running for offices more, and we need to start getting people who are really like devoted to a certain cause, and that cause they see that the best way to fix that or to make things better would be to enter the political arena. But I think a lot more people should be doing that anyway. Yeah. Like learn as you go. If you really do have a passion project that's going to make your city better,
Yeah, exactly. Because there is two official candidates right now for D4. Albert Chow, who's like a business guy, he seems kind of from the right. He kind of led the charge against Engardio, and so it makes sense he would run. But that he might be one of those guys too that's like, we need all the police we can get and cram them in there. And then the other candidate is Natalie G, who's the chief of staff for Shaman. Is that how you say his name? Shaman Walton. The supervisor right now. And she seems coming more for the left, but then you could also I question how she feels about housing and stuff like that. We don't want to, another Yimby in here too. Right, so It'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting, especially to see how Alcaraz actually performs.
Because the other thing we know about her is because she's not a Yimby.
Yeah,
we know that. And she also has, I mean, she's done a lot of community service, but most of it has been for enrichment programs for kids. She's a music teacher too. So I think that that she could actually might win the entire thing if she can pull just some decent things off in this very short period of time.
Yeah, totally. So good luck.
Good luck.
All right. Now we got to talk about kitty cats.
Oh,
I know. So sad.
So sad.
The beloved cat. I know. And I love the reaction from all the techies about it. It's like, come on, we can let a cat die for technology. And I love how everyone is pushing back like, no, this tech is not worth killing cats.
And the thing is like Toshi over at San Francisco, he made a really good observation. I mean, like, this cat has been going where the 22 runs, like, it's right there. It's what's the name of it? The Roxy, right?
Yeah.
And the 22 runs up and down that street 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day. You got people riding those little stupid ass scooters all the time going up and down Valencia. Nobody's hit that cat. The only people that hit that cat was Waymo. And now Waymo is trying to blame their Nigerian drivers.
Oh, awful. Oh, of course.
Of all, okay, you mean to tell me the only place you guys have drivers is Nigeria? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. And are they doing it online? Does that mean this actually isn't, self-driving?
It's not self-driving.
Oh my God, of course. It's like the same thing with they introduced that like robot.
Yeah, the robot.
And it turns out it's actually somebody somewhere else.
Somebody someplace else. It's a scam. Waymo is a scam.
Yeah, I should point out what the thing we're talking about is a Waymo taxi, a driverless car ran over a bodega cat in the Mission District, a beloved cat named Kit Kat. And yeah, now, I mean, it's funny, like we had already been seeing the complaints about with the driverless cars, the random stops and intersections causing traffic issues. There's the whole story about the parking lot and about how when the cars go back to their homes in like 3 a.m., they sit there and honk at each other and it's just like a cacophony. There's so many issues with these things, but they're still forcing it. And the worst part is they keep saying this is safe. These are going to be safer than anything else. And we're seeing that's just not true. Like
like somebody else pointed out, the real issue is it's like this is the same thing you fuckers did with Uber and Lyft. This is the exact same thing that you did with Uber and Lyft. Like you chase out all of our taxi drivers.
Yep.
Right. And then you turn regular citizens into taxi drivers who have no union protections. And yet, have to use their own cars. And now you're going to chase out the Uber and Lyft drivers with these cars. It's the same scam, right? I mean, I personally, if there was a way to stop these bastards, I'd do it immediately because it's just gotten to the point where we're going to use technology to surveil you and you're going to like it. We're going to make it seem as if we're giving you a gift. It's like a constant Trojan horse. It's just, if I could stop these bastards, I would. I'd stop them dead in their tracks. I would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. And it's like, it kills me too, because I'll see people ride in them and it's just for the, the excitement of it. Like, ooh, look, it's a driverless car. But then it's actually also sad though, too, because, there's a lot of sexual assaults going on too with Lyft and Uber, and you're seeing women want to choose driverless cars for their own safety. So you can kind of see why there is a need, because dudes can't get their shit together, but or like keep their hands to themselves. But at the same time too, it's also so clearly this whole thing about more passive income for the rich. This is still shareholder economics,
Yeah.
This is the best way to get passive income going, and it's like, all these people, they're investing both in real estate and in tech like this, either ride shares, which they get or the driverless cars. And it's because they don't want to get their real jobs. They just want to have money rolling in,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, that being said, we got to talk about too how Jackie Fielder here, who I'm showing, she's calling. I think this is a good idea because especially because this is what the techies hate the most. She just wants state legislation that would allow local municipalities, cities especially, to choose whether or not they want these driverless cars. And that's the thing. That is the whole push among the techies that's going on right now. That's why they're talking right now about San Francisco, and Lurie wants to do something to streamline the process. And let's be clear, what does streamlining mean? That means removing regulations that protect regular people to make it easier for the rich to get what they want.
Yeah, I think Fielder is the only one that actually is, in my estimation, who does fit into that citizen politician mold, right? Like we need more of that, and I hope the measure passes, because we have to start getting state control and city control over these tech companies. We have to rein them in, and if the Fed's not going to do it, and they're obviously not at least for the next 5-10 years, and I don't think we have that kind of time. I think there has to be a people powered reign on these guys before things get out of control. This AI thing, Sam Altman's begging for another $200 trillion and all of your water and electricity. That shouldn't even be a conversation. Shouldn't even be a conversation. We shouldn't be having that conversation. We should be able to, who's Altman? Who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah. Oh my God. The Altman shit in the AI. Especially too, like he's basically he's making a gamble that he's going to make trillions in revenue and be able to invest trillions. That's the deals he's making right now. Well, and even business people are like, yeah, sure, buddy, that's gonna work.
Look, he's already begging for a bailout. Don't bail him out.
Don't. Fucking, we already wasted $40 billion on Argentina. Jesus Christ. Yeah, and it's so funny too, because that also too, it's bringing up Jackie Fielder again and everything else. The whole deal with OpenGov and the fact that there was, it's so clear now that there's shadiness going on there. Like, it's so clear that there was some kind of deal, that the fact that his chief of staff chose the more expensive option and to work with somebody that they could have done a deal with somebody they already work with for, so much cheaper. I would say, like, one of the deals they were offered was only for $500,000, and they still went for a $6 million deal.
And also the link between Lurie and his supervisor on this deal and OpenGov, the fact that OpenGov was already working with Lurie when he had his nonprofit. Yeah, so that means there's a chain of association. There's a system that's already in place that can be improved upon. And I think that if they improve the system, they said that the article says it's like $1.8 million total, not 5.9 million. But let's be honest, like that OpenGov deal is going to go back to Lurie. It's going to go back to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think Lurie's doing it. I don't think he's a fucking billionaire. He doesn't need to do that, right? Yep. He doesn't need to do that. But I think that maybe they're trying to make up for the shortcoming of the budget this year. And one of the ways to do that is to inflate. Like, it's not going to cost this much, right? But we're going to allocate to you guys. You guys are going to make deals with us in the back, and we're going to figure out a way to use that money over here. You know what I mean? That's what it kind of feels like. It's shady as shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good look at all. But it goes to show what we kind of expected anyways, especially from Lurie. He's going to listen to his tech buddies. He's good. I mean, that's a thing too. I mean, there is no one appreciates and protects their class more than the wealthy.
Yep.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, they really do just kind of see themselves as, for one, the victims of everything. Taxes make them victims for some reason. But also too, like they just know to protect each other. It's insane, Well,
when you are only 1% population, you're going to have to circle those wagons eventually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And especially with your greedy asses, you're trying to make money obsolete. You're trying to take it all. Yep. You don't have the common sense to, like, not understand it. Like, if you take it all, there's nothing else to play with, right? Nobody's going to want to play with you anymore. If you take all the monopoly money, the game is over.
Yeah.
Right. It's time to close the board, put it back in the box, because you took all the money. The game is done.
Yes.
Right. So, I mean, like, yeah, of course they're going to circle around themselves. We need to circle around ourselves too, though. You know what I mean? Which I think is happening, because especially the thing that's really got me feeling okay about what's going on is that I am seeing a great deal of mutual aid, and I'm seeing so much care that's being, like, even in my own neighborhood, people are bringing bags of food to people, and a person built one of those pantries, the food pantries, and my food co-op is giving away free food and stuff like that. So, I mean, like, there is this thing where, like, under these kind of pressures, like, Rebecca Solnit talks about this all the time. Paradise Made in Hell is, I think, what the book is called. And it's like, when these kind of crises actually happen is when community activates.
Yeah.
So you create this crisis, but also you're creating community in crisis. And that community in crisis has a tendency of making new models. So who's to say?
Yes. Yeah, totally. I know. Yeah. That at least is bringing the lower classes together. They know, exactly. And they're starting to see who the enemies are. Great point. Totally. Yeah. And then we should actually go from there too, to kind of talking about how, the upper classes too are going after the people that are trying to help the homeless, namely Jennifer Friedenbach, who was just pushed off the Prop C Oversight Commission.
Yeah.
And she's the one that literally pushed forward, like, is called the architect of Prop C, which all it does is raise funding for homelessness, but they want to get in their people in, they want to get in the people that share their viewpoints on homelessness, which means, oh yeah, it's so sad, but we don't want to see it.
Yeah, and I think this is another one of those backdoor deals in a really weird kind of way, because what Lurie is saying is he wants to take the funds from Prop C and reallocate it away from housing to shelters. Right. So, but at the same time, what you're actually saying is that you want to discount that. You might even cut those funds in half. Right. Those funds are going to go someplace else. You're going to cut those funds in half. Maybe those funds are going to go to the Gov site. right? Maybe that's where those funds are going to go. Maybe what you want to do is you want to cut Prop C in half, right? And that way you don't have to worry about like shelter beds now. It's just going to be shelter beds. We're going to cut the funding in half and just make it shelter beds, and then we're going to give our rich buddies more money, right? But I don't know how they even think that this. I mean, and nothing against this guy Lemon. He sounds like a really good dude, right? He's a former addict who runs a treatment facility.
Yes.
Right. Like that's not the same as dealing with homelessness. And I don't even know how anybody thought this was a good idea. No knocking him though.
Yeah.
No knocking him, but he doesn't have the experience and he doesn't have the passion for the project. It's almost as if you know that. It does sound like Lurie's trying to put his buddy in. Yep. That's what it sounds like.
And it's Dorsey's buddy too, Matt Dorsey's buddy.
Yeah.
The guy
more so Dorsey's buddy.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And also supposedly a friend of Mandelman, Raphael Mandelman, who represents the Castro, which is the where Billy Lemon's nonprofit is, the Castro Country Club, which gives me pause calling it a country club, but it's a sober house. Honestly, that's the worst part too. It's they keep pushing this narrative that the homeless all are on drugs. You know, and I think that's because they want to help their allied drug treatment programs like the Salvation Army, which wants to dig a massive facility here. I mean, we're talking multi-million facility here. It's clearly just pushing that along, and that's why you see like Adam Nathan from Blaze AI pushing for Salvation Army and stuff like that. I know he's so obnoxious, dude. Jesus Christ.
He keeps getting boosted in my Twitter. I'm like, I don't even know you. Like you keep popping up, and then I look at your following, and your following isn't all that great, you know. Same thing with Scotty Johnson and Blueprint. I'm like, I don't care about you guys. I sincerely don't. I don't care.
Yeah, but that's all Elon's new algorithm, you know. He's making sure you see what he wants you to see. Now, admittedly, Friedenbach, she did term out for this, but she should have had another chance at it. You know, she was so involved with it.
She already been given one extension. So I mean, like I don't know what the alternative would have been there at all. You know, because there are limits to the position. I mean, like, so maybe I don't know. She could just like wait it out and put herself back in the ring. So
yeah, it should be interesting too to see how the board votes, because that was just an advisory, and so the board gets the final decision. So we'll see if they still want to keep her around. But it is sad because she's truly a great warrior for the homeless.
Absolutely.
You need those people around. All right. Well, I think that was a good episode. I think it's time to wrap up.
Yeah, man.
I think everyone should also, if you enjoy our podcast, we also did a radio show with our buddy down in Santa Cruz, Amy Chin Mills. We were on her show, Moment of Truth, along with the Project Phoenix folks, Keen and Jeremy. It was a great discussion. We're going to supposedly do it again and get like 2 hours, which I think is great. But, you know, it's about the topic that we always talk about, tech fascism in the Bay Area.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Relentless tech fascism.
Oh my God. People need to keep watching out for it. Seriously. It's still as much as we're fighting back, especially in Oakland, it's still rolling along and you can see it.
Well, I'm glad. I have to say, Oakland right now, we have a couple of things, but you know, it seems that maybe we're going to be able to beat back the flock cameras. You know, also seems like Barbara Lee has started her program, and she's now hunting down the illegal dumpers. And she just did a post where they cleaned up so many spots, just like, you know, just the full force of the city, which also takes away a stick that the right wing was going to use. Everybody was talking about dumping. Dumping. So those two things have been like really encouraging, and also, like I said, community support for our less fortunate neighbors has kicked in. So I mean, like, you know, we're fighting the fight over here.
Yes, totally. And it's undoing Ken Houston's whole narrative and everything else.
Yeah,
Like the city is involved, and also too, what there was that they were trying to start another one of these kind of like helping the homeless, helping clean up
Urban Compassion Project.
Yes, yeah. Oh,
haven't heard from them.
What was that?
Haven't heard from them.
Yes,
haven't seen anything. Not a peep. Not a peep.
Exactly. Because totally undid the narrative they were going to try to push, right?
Yeah,
we really are the good guys.
Yeah, you think it's based on city neglect. Okay, well, the city's doing something. Know what are you going to do now?
Gotta love it. So people pay attention to Oakland. We'll do more about Oakland because they are truly the ones doing a great job pushing it back against the takeover from tech fascism. And follow us on all the socials, support our Patreon. We could always use the funding. Until next time,
keep fighting the good fight.
That's right.